This is a video about how to repair a non-priming Briggs & Stratton lawnmower, the kind with the bulb plunger. Other such videos fix the problem by adding two gaskets if it leaks when using just one. I show you how to fix it using the existing gasket. Actually, I tried the two gasket method and it did not work for me. What I discovered is that the replacement gasket often comes with tiny locating holes that cause the gasket to not seat properly. You have to ensure the gasket is seated flat as possible and to make sure the carburetor surfaces are very clean of old gasket material. You almost have to remove the carburetor to seat the new gasket. By the way, the original gasket tore because of the material they use in making it. It causes the gasket to stick to the carburetor as well as the plastic air filter housing. Maybe there's some kind of adhesive on it. So when it is removed to unclog one of the carburetor jets, it naturally tears. You may also have a distorted air filter housing due to heat from the engine or from sitting in the sun. Before I installed the new gasket, I placed the housing in my sink and washed it using a toothbrush with soap and water. I was surprised to see that there was a screen just behind the bulb that had some debris, possibly spider webs, etc. That also could prevent your bulb from working, so it's something to look at. So everything I tried did not work. I could not get my carburetor to prime. You can easily check it by sticking your little finger in the carburetor air intake. You should feel some fuel on it when you're pushing the plunger. Upon removing the two gaskets that I just put on, I noticed my carburetor was not surface cleaned enough, which caused the air leak. Taking the filter housing off once again, of course, caused my two new gaskets to not look so good. In other words, they had some tears in it. So I studied the filter housing and noticed that I only had to seal off the lower section. I went about cutting off the top half of the gasket per the image and glued it on to the housing with silicone. Once it dried, I tried pushing the plunger with the small outlet hole underwater. As I plunged the primer bulb, I could see air bubbles, so I knew everything should work. Yeah, I know some of you are saying that I need the full gasket circumference or dirt will sneak in. At this point, I don't really care. I just wanted it to start like it should. I reinstalled it with just the lower half of the gasket and it worked. I could feel the fuel on my finger every time I pushed the plunger. Why the engineers left that portion of the primer bulb tubing open beats me. It shows stupidity on Briggs & Stratton engineering plant. The carburetors always work just fine with the original choke. Why they went to this stupid plunger makes no sense. Now, the way I installed the gasket, when I have to remove the filter housing to get it to carb, that gasket should stay only on the housing and not tear whenever I have to repair the carburetor. After sitting all winter, wouldn't you know it, it stopped priming when I pushed the plunger. So now I'm simply squirting in some starting fluid and leaving the filter off. I'm in New Jersey, so there isn't much dust in the air to be concerned about. Yeah, so what if it wears the engine quicker? The mower is over 10 years old and I'm about due for a new one. You might also try using leftover spray bottle to hold some fuel in it to use for starting instead of the expensive starting fluid they sell. Also, if money is no concern, try replacing the carb with one with the choke. I've seen them for as little as $18 on eBay. They all have pretty much the same mounting configuration. And that brush in the sink is not a toothbrush per se, unless you're a gorilla, in case some of you want to comment. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you can. Visit us at larryandjane.com.